you're in a relationship with God, you understand and you know that you have purpose. And within that purpose, you're able to find a partner there as well. So yeah, I think that's what I can stand by as well. That purpose is over feelings.
Purpose. What's your purpose? I think that's the thing, right? Searching for it, but you don't search for it outside of God.
Your sound leader has gone through it. Your sound leader has experienced all these emotions, all these butterflies. Like, they've gone through it. So if you're able to confide in them, they're able to guide you to be like, okay, listen, you're not the first one to go through it. You're not the last one to go through it. But how you choose to deal with it makes the difference.
Dumelang babogedi, hello everyone, and welcome to Conversations with K, another episode with our young people. I'm so excited because I get to sit with the ladies. It feels like it's such an intro into Women's Month. So on studio today we have Lebo, but I'm gonna say Lebo, and we have Zamo, otherwise known as Zamo. Welcome, Lebo and Zamo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for honoring me with this conversation. I'm really excited. Guys, young people, they're only 21, and I'm looking forward to receiving from 21-year-olds. I can't remember the last time I was 21. And I know definitely when I was 21, I wasn't thinking of talking about Christianity and Christian life, even though I wasn't that naughty. But in any case, Lebo,
Yes.
we're going to start with you.
Okay.
Who is Lebo? Just in short, tell our viewers who is Lebo.
Lebo is just like, I guess I can describe myself as an onion. I feel like there's a lot to me. Like, there's so much to me. I like a lot of things. I'm interested in a lot of things. But above all, I'm just truly grateful for life, especially for the way God has really come into my life, because without God, I'm truly nothing. But I'm just an experience. That's how I can describe myself. I'm an experience. So, yeah.
Awesome. And Zamo?
Okay, for me personally, I don't know, every time I get this question, I always struggle to answer it. But for me, I believe I'm a very tiny person, but I have a lot of energy inside of me. I have a lot of noise to make. I have a lot of excitement within me, And when that noise comes out, people look at me, it's like, this tiny person, where is this noise coming from,
Yeah.
So basically, that's me in a nutshell. What's that toy when you open it and then
It pops. What's the toy? What's the toy, guys? That toy.
So basically, you could say I'm that toy just filled with so much joy and excitement. Like, once I get excited, I get excited. It's like hard to contain it. So yeah.
For a moment, I thought you were talking about me. But I'll help you understand. So I'm tiny and I have a very deep voice. So if I was to relax even now, people are like, where do you get your bass? Like, you're so small. Where does it come from? So I truly understand. So once again, Babogedi, as you've heard, Lebo is an onion. Onion. Matter of pronunciation.
To be peeled.
To be peeled. Yes, layers and layers and layers. So we'll get to hear about that. And Zamo is that toy. There's something inside. If you don't see it, there's something inside. When you open it, it pops up. That's the energy that we're going to have today. So, ladies and gentlemen, Babogedi, I gain a life of a young person as a Christian. Take us through this journey. Here is a scenario. I am thinking, when I was 21, like I said, I wasn't thinking of having conversations about Christianity. Yes, I loved God, I loved Jesus, but that wasn't something that I would say, okay, let's sit down and have a conversation about. So when did Lebo or when did Zamos realize that, okay, I need Jesus, I want this life, I want to become a Christian? When was that? Or you can even take us back to first when, we've been through life, all of us. Whatever you are comfortable sharing, and say, okay, this is where I was and this is where I am today. Yes.
Okay, so I can start, right?
Yeah.
So, grew up in a Christian household. I was raised up on Christian values, but I didn't really have a relationship with God for myself. And I remember when I was young, it always was within my mind, like, how much I really, really need God, and I really need to have like a deeper relationship with God. But then I got saved. Like, I got saved for myself when I was in grade 10. I was 15 years old in 2018. So from there, like, a true relationship with God began, where I understood that I need to like pray fervently, that I need to read the word, that I just truly need to be one with God. So that is my journey for me.
Okay, thank you. Would you like?
Okay, so my journey, I think, okay, not even I think. So basically, this year was the year where I was like, you know what, I really can't do this life thing alone. So growing up, like Lebo, I also grew up in a Christian household. You know, everybody went to church. We went to church every Sunday. It was tradition for us. You know, we read our Bible. But then, growing up, I always struggled with my relationship with God because when things went bad, I let the devil convince me to think that nah, God doesn't love you. You know, you're on your own now. So each time I'd always turn my back onto Christianity. Therefore, I never really built that relationship with God. And then the start of this year, I actually really didn't think that this year I was gonna be born again. But then the start of this year, I started feeling like a void inside of me. But then I didn't take it seriously because I had a lot of stress. I had a lot of things going on, and people tried to tell me that no, come to church, and I was like, no, guys, I need proper solutions right now, right? And then as the year progressed, by March, I had this void inside of me. And then in May, that's when I decided to go back to church. That's when I knew that, you know, it's here. I need God because I really can't do this on my own. Like the void that I had inside of me, instantly on that day when I returned to church, it was immediately filled up. And I remember crying so much because it's like the burden that was on my shoulders, it was not gone. Like ever since then, I have so much peace within me that I can't even explain to be like, I don't know, you know.
I'm actually getting excited for you because before we started the conversation, you told me that you are turning 21.
Yes.
So you're going to be 21
Yes.
as a born-again Christian.
That is
and
correct.
that is exciting. I know other people may be looking and thinking, oh, she's going to turn 21. She's going to be a Christian. But that's amazing. That's something big because you decided to take a different path. So when other people are celebrating something at 21, you know, like when we get given a key, like it's like an opportunity, go out there and do something rough or naughty with your life. But you decided that this is the path I'm going to take, and you're going to be turning 21.
Very correct.
And that's the time to celebrate. Like I was saying, church bash, guys. Church is nice. Christianity is beautiful.
Yeah.
These ladies are beautiful. They're living their life as Christians. But there's something that both of you, your stories, like as I was listening to both of your stories, you grew up in a Christian family. And that's what happens with us. We grew up in a Christian family, and we grow up and we're thinking, okay, just because I grew up in a Christian family, that means I'm a Christian. But what I like is you are saying there was a point where you had to make a decision. And I love that you mentioned the term being born again. So let's say you're talking to somebody who's younger than you, or someone who hasn't received Christ yet, who thinks, no, I grew up in a Christian family because my parents were praying, my parents were going to church, I was going to church every Sunday, and they think they're Christians. What would be like something, like a message that you'd want to share with them? Like, what is it that you'd want them to know? Like the difference between going to church and actually being a Christian?
Well, okay, I can say that it is about the lifestyle that you live, because a lot of us, me example, like how I was, a lot of us used to say, you know what, I am Christian because I go to church every Sunday, I don't miss a service. But what lifestyle do we live like from Monday to Saturday? For me, it wasn't aligned with what I was taught at church. So what I can say is that, you know, just think of and be honest with yourself. Just think of how your life is on a daily, and how God is, like, how do you prioritize God and spending time with God? Because sometimes we see church and God as like something additional, like, oh, it's just something that I go to and then I go back into my normal life. But God is our life. God is everything. So is God part of your life? Is God everything to you? And if he's not, you just, and it's not in a way like condemning you, because God does say that he opens up, like he gives us choice free, like firstly he gives us the freedom to do so, and he welcomes us with open arms. God doesn't condemn us. He's not a person that walks with a stick and wants to beat us up for our mistakes, but because we run to him and we give our all to him, he embraces us wholly, even in our imperfections. Because there are other people that think, you know what, I'm just very afraid to give my life to God because I'm a mess, I did this, I did that, I did this. But our pastors at church, they even say, you know what, even if you did something this morning, even if you did something yesterday, just give your life to God and you'll never be the same. Sorry.
No, that's fine. Like, your power.
True.
Power to the youth, our future leaders, guys. There's a lot to unpack from what you said. The lifestyle. The lifestyle. let's talk about the lifestyle. Like as young people, the lifestyle, like living our Monday to Saturday and then going to church on Sunday. How does that look? I don't want to talk about it. You mentioned a lot. Like, how does that look for a young person? Because, like you say, I can live my life a certain way Monday to Saturday and be thinking, it's okay. Then on Sunday, I go to church. And I think that's what Christianity is about. I'm thinking, well, I go to church. I'm saved. Yes, I go to church. But Monday to Saturday, I live a life that's, well, up to me. I don't even listen to God. I don't even ask God to help me in any choices that I'm making. So let's talk about that, the lifestyle. I'm generalizing it so that we can like really talk broad about it. So what's this lifestyle as a young person? How does it look like?
Okay, so I think I'm gonna speak from my experience for me personally. So growing up, I think I really did give into peer pressure. Peer pressure is like, okay, we're going to a party, we're gonna go drink, we're gonna go do all of this. That's the lifestyle that God does not want for us. Because adding on to what Lebo said, our lifestyle really is what determines us from saying that we're Christians. Because now we can't say that, okay, you live a lifestyle like this Monday to Saturday and then Sunday, because now we're just being lukewarm Christians. And the Bible does tell us, like, if you choose to be lukewarm, God will spit you out. He won't accept you as lukewarm. So now if you say that, it's Monday to Saturday, I'm going to do like this and I'm going to be like this, God doesn't accept us fully. So until we properly change and give our lives to God, and the best part about it is actually, like, once you give your life to God, like, the things you did prior, like, it doesn't even become a habit for you anymore. Like, you immediately change from it. Like, when you try go back into it, it feels unnatural for you. It's like you're out of place. So yeah, and just getting back to the lifestyle, like following what the world wants you to do. So for instance, with my birthday, 21st, it's usually seen as this crazy, you go wild, you go crazy. That's what the world tells you, that like, this is how you're meant to celebrate, but that's not how it is meant to be. So yeah, just, I guess, not given into that peer pressure, not given into what the world tells you to do, what's cool, what's in.
The cool things.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Did I cut you short?
No, I'm done.
Okay.
so like what I can take from you especially is the things that you influence yourself with. As much as we don't know it fully or we don't understand it, what we watch every single day makes an impact. The conversations that we partake in makes an impact. So it's pretty much those things. And what you said, that when you give your life to God and when you seek the Lord daily, the things that you used to do, they seem unnatural to you, or you just don't really care for them anymore. So I think it's the things that we do daily, the little things that we do, the things that we watch, the content we watch, the conversations we partake in, as I said. So it's those things that truly influence you, which is why it's also important to have fellowship with other Christians so that you are able to be strong, because even in the Bible it says that two are more than one. It even says, speaks on the importance of just having people around just to give you strength as well, and for us to carry each other as people, because we are not perfect. But when you are in good fellowship, you are able to just go through things better. Like, I feel like two minds thinking of a situation is better than one mind, because sometimes when you go through a situation, you are blinded by that. And even if you don't want to, it does happen. But when you speak with other people, with people that are like maybe older than you, or people that have gone through the same situations, because as Christians, we go through the same thing. We think, oh, you're the only person like struggling with like porn and masturbation, or you're the only person struggling with anxiety, like it's only you. But honestly, like, there's nothing that's under the sun that people have not gone through. So having that fellowship and speaking about it does really make the difference. So yeah, like, I think it's very important for you to speak out about it. And obviously you need to find a place, a space where you are able to be comfortable, or like a person that you are able to be comfortable with to speak about it. So yeah, that's what I can say.
Okay.
Can I add into something quickly?
Yeah.
Yes. This is yours, ne?
Just to
That's
add
fine.
on with like what we expose ourselves to, I think sometimes as kids the biggest mistake we make is the friends that we choose. So I remember personally in grade 3, I didn't have a lot of friends. Then I was like, no man, I don't want to be like this, So then I ended up being friends with like the naughty kids so that I could be one of the cool kids and all of that, And now as I grow up, like, if somebody had to tell me what Liv was saying to me right now as that 3-year as in grade 4, I would look at you like, you don't understand. In primary school, it's survival of the fittest
Yes.
here, But I genuinely think that, like, that's not the case, really. Like, I don't know how we can make them understand it. Because sometimes, when we hear adults speaking to us, we thinking, they're not understanding, they're not seeing it. Because I remember I would go home to my mom and be like, yo, this is happening. And she would give me advice, like, good advice. But I'll be like, no, that's boring advice. It's not going to help me, So just like really looking at your group of friends, because that really will show you the path that you're taking on. So the group of friends we have also impacts a lot. Like if your friends are now constantly motivating you to do things that you also like deep down, you know, it's not, doesn't feel right. Like, I don't know if you guys ever get that feeling when you're about to do something you're not supposed to do. Then in your stomach, you get that feeling. I feel like if you have those friends, move away from them because,
Move away from them. Don't even shy away from moving away from them. Even as adults, if somebody makes your stomach, you said, a gut feeling. That gut feeling, move away from them. It's not only even with the youth. Move away from them. You are allowed to, like they spoke, they've said, we have a free will. God has given us a free will. There's a lot that you mentioned, guys. I want us to talk about the 5 senses, like the 5 entryways, like you were saying, the things that we watch. We'll talk about that. And I really want us to talk about the friendships that we have as young people and our relationship with older people, not necessarily our mothers only and our big sisters, but the older people like that we look up to that are Christians when they advise us. So firstly, let's talk about the five entryways. I'm mentioning 5 because we were talking about the things that we watch. So there's 5 senses, right? There's things we watch. There's things we hear. We taste, we smell, and then we touch. Did I say? Yes, it's the feeling, right? We touch. The things we touch, the things we see, the things we hear, the things we smell, the things we taste. So those are the things. So if you were to give an example, like you were saying, the things we watch, you know, and I love that you hit it like you're not scared to even, guys, pornography is the most dangerous thing. And like she say, like it's the most terrible. Even when you're watching something that is light, that's another topic for another day on its own. Actually, we should have a group of young people sitting and we should talk about it. And I think everybody, if we were to be realistic, think about the magazines we watch, we look at. Think about TV, the movies that we watch already. It doesn't have to be the pornography series itself, the things that we watch on TV. So I love that you mentioned that, the things we listen to, the kind of music we listen to. And I know this one is a very hard one. So we are on the second one. The music we listen to. What's your take on the music that we listen to as young people, or you listen to as young people?
Well, okay, so let's just be honest. Like the music industry as a whole, it's in a very, very dark place, and things are done in plain sight. And if you truly don't have the knowledge of God, you are unable to see that, or you think it's normal. So how can I say this? So there's a person that said that you need to have your own, like, God, in a sense, because one thing that's a sin to one person is not a sin to another person. So I think it's very different for different people, because for some people, they can listen to certain genres. I want to make an example, like maybe house music, because some house music does have like songs about God and lyrics about God, but some people, like any type of secular music, it really, really affects them. So I don't want to sound bad, but it does depend on you, because certain people have certain boundaries. For me, it has been best for me not to really listen to secular music at all, because I used to like all types of music, but those lyrics, they do really make an impact on your thought process, on your spirits, and the things that you do and the decisions that you take. And even if you don't see it now, it's like, oh, like really, but like if you really make a difference, for example, if you take 2 weeks and just listen to like Christian music, like songs about God, and then you take another week and you listen to secular music, you can see the change in yourself, in your condition. Like the change is there, you can literally feel it. But yeah.
So the end result, as you're talking, the matter of like the results are the ones that actually should determine what we listen to. Like, for example, what you said, if you listen to Christian music for a week and you listen to secular music, the outcome of that should tell you, okay, do you really want to continue listening to this music for the whole week? Because the outcome, the fruits of it, they really matter. But I like your honesty in saying that it depends on each and every person, which is another topic. But yes, it depends on each and every person, because other genres are really a stumbling block to other people. Like I know someone who used to listen to rock. Even now, if somebody was to compose a gospel music, I'm going to say inverted commas, which is in rock, she cannot not listen to that. So for example, if I was to hear rock music while sitting next to that person, I have to switch it off because I know what it does to that person, which is a stumbling block for her because she was delivered from that, like hardcore rock and stuff like that. So I like your honesty in that. So did you want to add something before we go to the other?
Yeah, just like with the music part, what we expose ourselves to, like you start repeating it, like it becomes your daily routine. It becomes a part of who you are, the music we expose ourselves to. Because like I think as young people, the main thing we spend most of our time doing is listening to music. So now as you speak to your friends, you're portraying the music that you're listening to. Like you're wondering why you can't stop swearing, but you're listening to music that constantly swears. So yeah, that's just also what I wanted to add on.
If I may also add as well, the R&B.
Valid points, hey? You ladies, hey! Why am I not young into your era? You would be shaparing me right now. Yes. We're learning from each other. Don't worry. Yes. Yeah.
Also, I want to say like the R&B as well, because a lot of girls, I'm not gonna lie, like I've seen stories and I've like seen situations of a lot of girls feeling that they're in the situation where they feel like they desire like relationships. Let's just be honest, as girls we go through those things, but you can look back and look at the songs that you listen to, like for example the R&B music. And one thing that I did before I decided that I'm going to listen to only Christian music or gospel is read the lyrics, because sometimes we are just blinded by the beats, and the beats are nice, I'm not going to lie. They produce properly, and then some of the artists, you can't even hear what they're saying because it sounds like, oh, it's a nice melody.
Yeah.
When you read lyrics properly, you'll get shocked. You'll be very, very shocked. So that's one thing I could recommend people to do, is just read the lyrics. It's shocking. The things that we listen to every day, it's just shocking. I'm not going to lie.
Speaking about the lyrics, there's this song that I really like. I really like that song. But I've realized that if I listen to it continuously, there's certain moves when I was young. I used to dance a lot. So if I listen to that song over and over and over, it provokes certain moves out of me. So I have to say to myself, no, stop. It's a Christian song, by the way, proper lyrics and everything, but the beat, that it's upbeat and everything. And the sound of it, I don't even know how to explain it, but the more I listen to it, I find myself dancing in a different way. So the question that I ask myself is, do I really want to be dancing like this? Let's say I'm dancing like this in front of you. Would it be edifying to you? If I dance like this at church, would it be edifying to my brothers and sisters at church? So the answer is no. So I'm like, okay, like you were saying with those people, cut them off. So cut it off, cut the music off. You guys are raising like very like valid points. Cut the music off. Anything that makes you sin, cut it off. It says in the Bible, if your arm, just cut it off. Well, you don't cut it off literally. It means you don't go to such places. If going to certain places with a friend makes you sin, cut those places off. You can't say you're going to just sit with your friends at a bar and I'll just have juice. No. Eventually, something will happen. So cut that off. Cut those trips off. So I'm enjoying the cut it off. Cut it off. Just deal with it while you are at it. The other sense, we spoke about the seeing and the hearing. The other sense, like you were talking, I like that you touched the topic of boyfriends. Boyfriends and girlfriends, the touch. The other gateway is touch. That actually influences our lifestyle. And I was young once. Guys, that is the most dangerous gateway. The touch. The seeing I'm seeing. Touch. So let's talk about the touch part. So what's your take on the gateway of like touch? Like these boyfriends and girlfriends, and we are being realistic. You're not talking about yourselves, but we are being realistic as young people. How can we help ourselves in this area? Because yes, with seeing, we cut the videos, we cut those movies, we cut those pornography videos, delete them, do whatever. With the hearing, the kind of music that you're listening to, if it's gonna make you swear or do other things, like we're being straightforward, if you're gonna find yourself swearing because of the beat of the song, cut those things off. So now let's talk about the touch.
I think for me, with the touch, my advice would be get to a certain stage of maturity whereby like if that opportunity like tries to like make way, you're able to say no, you're not able to like give into it, you know, and get to that like build boundaries for yourself, like the values that you grew up with, like keep them sustained within you and know that okay, this is not what I want. Because the problem is once you open those gates, you can't close them again, and you affecting yourself for many more years to come. So before you even like say, oh okay, but like it's a harmless relationship, whatever, before you even step into that relationship, make sure that as I am as Zamo right now, am I mature enough to be in a relationship with somebody, and like if he suggests 1 2 3, I'm able to be like, no, I'm not there yet. Yeah.
So for me, what she said about building boundaries, well, firstly, what I can say is that I feel like, okay, the easiest thing, not easy, but I think the best solution is just for you to be in a relationship with a person that's also in the same journey with Christ as you. Because I'm not going to lie, I don't want to be judgmental, but it's very unrealistic for you as a Christian when you're going through this journey, you are strong with God, you are one with the Lord, and then you're in a relationship with a person that you know, it's taking with that person. I feel like it's very, very unrealistic. And I think as young people, we have the choice to make the right decisions. So for me, the boundary that I've set, that there's no way that I'm going to like be in a relationship with a person that does not have a relationship with Christ, because there's a difference between a Christian and a person that has a true relationship with Christ. And also forming boundaries. We have different yearnings, and you know what brings you temptation because you have experience of that. So I think it's important for you to have set boundaries. You must have like set values and boundaries for yourself. You can even write them down, say that, you know what, I'm not doing this and that, and I'm not going to do this and that no matter what. So holding yourself accountable, and also having other people hold you accountable as well. You don't need to tell everyone now. You don't need to tell the whole world, but just having one person that can hold you accountable to those things in which you are able to be honest with. Because sometimes, I'm not gonna lie, when you're in love, it can be a bit like your mind can be a bit.
Please be honest.
warped.
Yes,
It
let's
can
be
a bit
realistic. Hear it,
warped.
sister.
But
Yes.
if you have people that you trust, firstly, that you are able to hold yourself accountable to, that can help you a lot. So for me, just boundaries. Yeah.
Yo. But we have power women in this studio. Maturity. That's what I picked up. Maturity, right? Mature. We are not all we are not mature. If you're not mature, please, especially get yourself somebody who will hold you accountable. If you reach a level of maturity, if you think you've reached a level of maturity, I would say that, ish. Do you know that in these cases, we can never say that you've reached a level of maturity? You can be mature, and then that guy comes, and then the maturity flies away with that bird that likes singing. The next thing you know, that maturity has flown out of the window. Maturity, hold yourself accountable. Boundaries, I think these things are really important. Hold yourself accountable by getting somebody to hold you accountable. You mentioned something. Now, maturity, boundaries.
Being even like equally yoked.
Please say that. Where is that? Say it right there.
Being
Right
equally yoked.
Eh?
Being
They must
equally
hear you.
yoked. Yeah.
They must hear you again. There.
Being equally yoked, guys.
Being equally yoked. Do you know, as a 40-year-old, I sit here. Do I want to get married? Yes, I definitely want to get married. Ladies and gents, yes, obviously. Be equally yoked. Wait on God. And I love that the young people are the ones who are saying this. Did I tell you what to say before you came here? No, I love that they know doctrine. They are saying all these things. Are they easy? No. But when you have somebody who's holding you accountable, somebody who's walking the journey with you, it's easier, right? It is like, this is it right here. This is gospel right here. I think sometimes we make Christianity difficult. This is Christianity, pure Christianity right here. Hold yourself accountable by getting somebody to hold you accountable. And do not be unequally yoked. That is a serious thing. One pastor once said, this I have to share. It was in 2012, 2013. We were in a conference in Zambia. And he actually preached about being unequally yoked. He touched on it. And I remember him saying, just because you are in a church, we are in a church with the guy, it doesn't mean that you are equally yoked. Just because somebody is a Christian doesn't mean that you guys are meant for each other. It's a good person and a good person, but God may say no to the two people being together.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's hard for us to receive this. Or is it easy for you guys? Am I the only one who's really... No. I mean, I'm 40, but I'm really like, it's a struggle. Isn't like they say, the struggle is real. But God is real. You know, it may be real, the struggle may be real, but God is real. So I really like those points. And I love that they're coming from you young people. And we're not saying it's easy. She kept saying, I don't mean to be judgmental. It's true. The truth is not here to condemn us. It's here to really just guide us in the right path. The lifestyle that we were talking about, right? Yeah, so I think that is most important. Before I go into the parents, the older sisters or siblings or something, do you want to say something?
I can also add, there's a YouTuber that spoke about how when going to relationships or when you're looking forward to a relationship, you need to place purpose above feelings. And there's also a pastor that said, I think a lot of people can maybe you can understand because this pastor is quite famous now. She said that if you feel butterflies, you need to be aware of that. And our pastor always says that you need to be aware of your desires. You need to, don't just follow into them, be aware of them. So I think it's also important to understand that the path of purpose which God places you in. Because if you don't know that, then you don't know anything, honestly. That's the only thing that I can tell you. So when you're in a relationship with God, you understand and you know that you have purpose. And within that purpose, you're able to find a partner there as well. So yeah, I think that's what I can stand by as well, that purpose is over feelings.
Yeah. This is our third episode. First, second, third. And these young people have been talking about purpose. If you don't get it, please come visit us. We will sit you through this thing. Purpose. What's your purpose? True. I think that's the thing, right? Searching for it, but you don't search for it outside of God. Like, who is God? What's your purpose? You ask God, what's your purpose? What you just said, wow. At this point, I could just say, let's be done, but we can't. So I want to hear more from these young people. There is another thing that you mentioned about having your mother say something. And at that point, when you are younger, you're thinking, this is boring advice or something. It happens. I work with the young people, and some of them are going to watch this and be like, yo, house cakey. It happens. And I was once young as well, younger than I am now, where an older person says something and you think at that moment that this is boring. They don't know what they're talking about. This is our era. It's our generation. We are built like this. It's our time. And then you realize years later that I should have listened.
Yeah.
I should have hearkened. The Bible says hearken unto the Lord. I should have listened. So what's the importance of a young person? How important is it to have somebody who's older in the church? Because sometimes it's hard to talk to your mother or somebody back at home. Somebody that you can confidentially share things with. How important is it to have that person in a church setup? Or in a Christian setup, let me say that.
I think it's actually very, very important, especially because the nice thing about it is for us, so we have style leaders, right? And your style leader has gone through it. Your style leader has experienced all these emotions, all these butterflies, they've gone through it. So if you're able to confide in them, they're able to guide you to be like, okay, listen, you're not the first one to go through it. You're not the last one to go through it. But how you choose to deal with it makes the difference. So having that older person, having that person that you can trust, that you can confide in, because sometimes it's so much better to before you commit the sin that you're thinking of doing, speak to somebody and prevent yourself the pain of going through all of that. And now you're learning the lesson afterwards. Save yourself the tears, save yourself the heartbreak. Speak to somebody, get it off your chest. Let them guide you, because I think the importance of having somebody within the Christian church, within a church, sorry, like we're not going through our own understanding. We're going through the Lord's understanding, and they have been equipped. They have gone through it. So now we're being guided, we're following. We're not going through our own understanding. If that makes sense.
It makes sense. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, I can completely agree with Zamo. Having an older person, for example, she said that we have cell leaders. So, my cell leader has really helped me so much. Like she's helped me so much. I don't think she understands herself how much she's helped me. Having older people in the church
She's gonna watch
as well.
this and she'll understand.
Yeah, I'll send it to like having older people in the church, it's so important. And for us, our church, it's mainly like youth focused, but there are people that have graduated, that are working, that are married now, and that have children, and they're able to just show us the way, basically. So, for example, us as young people, we stress a lot, like, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna do this? They're able to be like, dude, it's okay. This happens. This is life. Just trust in God and just allow him to lead you in all of your paths. So they place us on the correct path, because sometimes we can be a bit shaky and shift. They help us to be placed within the correct path. Obviously, they don't like tell us what to do, control us and everything, but like the advice really makes a difference. I feel like having a person within your life that you can speak to, an older person that can be a model to you, really does make the difference as a young person. That I can say. Like, I really, really value people that really care enough to give us like honest advice and experience of the things that they've gone through. So it's just very important for me. It's very important. I highly recommend that if you are a person and you don't have that model or like guide, I would really recommend for you to go to church. I feel like fellowship is very important. And I know, especially in South Africa, people have gone through a lot in terms of churches. And I'll never say that the experience is not true, because people do have true experience of churches. But I think I just like to reach out to you and just say that you really, really, really need fellowship. And there are churches out there. I know, because a lot of people have different opinions, and they sort of make those opinions their reality. But the reality is there are very, very good churches out there. So just try to find a church. Just try to find a church. And within that church, just try to find a person that you can look up to, in a sense, or a model that you can follow, because that really makes a difference in your life. It really does.
I know you've been talking, but I want to bring this question to you first again. Especially that you spoke about somebody who is important in your life that has really helped you. So here you are a young person, and somebody who's older says something that is against, like opposite of what you thought was right at that time. So the leader or somebody that you look up to, your mentee or your disciple, somebody who disciples you, says to you, okay, Lebo, I see you want to go through this path, you want to go through this way, but I think you should go this way. Like you were saying, they're not controlling you. And that's the thing. We usually think that they're controlling us, right? So the person says, I think you should go this way. And then at that moment, you are not agreeing. So let's say, take yourself in that situation. Here I am, I come, Lebo, I don't think that's a good decision. What goes on in Lebo's heart and everything, and how do you handle that going forth? You know, like the reality of it. It's true, you're a human being. You're not agreeing. That time you're like, whatever she said, So take us through the process of the feelings and everything, and how do you go about realizing that I should have listened?
Okay. So for me, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes when people try to tell me things, I'm like, like in the inside, what you're saying, in the inside, it's like, oh my gosh, But one thing that I do when I feel feel offended, and because it has happened before, I'm not gonna lie, and it does happen, or when I disagree, I think I just ultimately go to God, because God is the ultimate authority. And that's why it's also important to have a deep relationship with God, because above all, God will be the one to give you the right direction. So yeah, that's what I can say.
What you just said, mold it, say it into that camera.
So I must repeat again. Okay.
Whatever that you just said right now.
So they disagreements and clashes and also offense. It's something that does happen. But at the end of the day, God is the ultimate authority. So it's important for you to have a relationship with God. And in those circumstances, you must run to God and ask him to first search your hearts. For example, search your hearts and to reveal unto you things that don't please him, or to reveal the truth for you, because sometimes you are blinded by your circumstances. So if you run to God and you seek his guidance, he's able to give you the final answer. So yeah, seek God above all things.
Yes, yo. It's hot in here. Batung, our young people. You don't understand. I'm probably smiling throughout this video. So if you find me smiling, I am trying so hard to not smile. But how can I not? Yo. Zama. Sure, ladies, you don't understand. Like, I don't even know what to say. Like, it's amazing for me. Like, usually, there's a reason why I put these things closer. I don't easily cry, but I'm thinking, what if one day I burst into tears? When I cry, I burst. There's a reason why I'm carrying this, and they are building up this, guys. I'm hoping I don't reach there, but this is amazing. Like, what more do we want from our young people? They are growing, they are learning. We get to learn from them. Like, this is amazing. When you see these young people, applaud them. They are sitting in church. They are not just sitting. They are learning. They are like, I'm repeating myself. And it's amazing for me to sit here and just learn from a young person. What they are saying here is things that I wasn't told when I was young. Like, I was, yes, told like the morals, you know, how to live life morally and stuff, but I wasn't really raised. I wouldn't say I was raised in a Christian family. Yes, they spoke about God. They spoke about, we went to church, but biblically, I wasn't raised in scriptures, if I have to put it that way, in doctrine. So to hear you guys at 21-year-old, as 21-year-old saying this,
I completely agree with everything Lebo said, but for me, I'm going to put it directly into like a young child's mind right now, you know? Because, okay, fine, you don't get the answer you want. We're very stubborn. I'm very stubborn, I know. Like, if I don't get the response that I want, I'm going to try to twist your hand until you now speaking the same language as I am, right? But as kids, like you said, we all make mistakes, and sometimes we think that, okay, you know what? Our leader doesn't really fully understand the situation, so we go with our own way. But I think it's very important that, like, you go through the experience, you do it. If you decide that you're going to go your own way, do it, but then be able to learn from it. Because the outcome is obviously going to show you that, listen, you should have listened. But you must now be able to, like, learn from it and grow from it, instead of now, next time you find yourself in the same position, you're not repeating the same mistake. You've grown from that. You know that, okay, you know what? My leader knew what she was talking about. My mentee knew what she was talking about. Next time, I really need to listen. I shouldn't let my heart... Guys, if there was one thing we've been learning consistently, is that the heart is very deceitful. Yeah. The heart is very deceitful. Like, do not follow your hearts, because your hearts will lead you into so many problems. Like, just listen, follow your leader. And if you do not agree with it, my advice really is do your own thing. But when you get burnt, be able to, don't have pride, be able to come back down, apologize, and do it the right way the next time.
That part, be able to come back, apologize. Because like God said, arms are always open, right? And that's the thing, when we do wrong, we think the people that have corrected us, they don't have their arms ready for us. We actually run even further away. Meanwhile, they're waiting.
They're waiting for you.
They're waiting for you. Because they are allowing you, because we have the free will. They will not step on the free will that God has given. You reminded of the song, and I'm thinking, probably when Jonathan was singing that cycles, maybe that's what he was thinking about. Like, Satan wants us to go through cycles. It is up to us, because we are given the free will, right?
True.
Are we gonna allow Satan to make us go through cycles or not? You know, so he's saying no to cycles, right? Who knows the song? Like cycles. Jonathan McReynolds. Hey, am I the old person with the young soul in here? I love that song, ladies. This has really been amazing. Such insight. from young people is amazing. And I really think I want you back. I want them back. And here is why we are not done with this conversation. I love the fact that there are ladies and they're being open, especially with relationships, especially as a lady interviewing young ladies regarding accountability, regarding discipleship between two people, like that discipleship relationship. I want them to be the ones who are talking so that there's an understanding that nobody is trying to control you. If someone is controlling you or trying to control you, that's where I have a problem. Yes, I would also have a problem. Like even if I was to see somebody who's helping you, having control over you, like trying to control you, I would have a problem with that because we have no right as adults to control you. You have been given the free will.
True.
Even you sitting here, it's free will. Nobody should try and twist your arm and do whatever to put you here. We can advise, and then we allow you to take the path. And as I sit here, what I'm hearing is that you have such people in your lives that have allowed you to make choices. And I love that you're saying when you have made the wrong choice, be humble enough to go back. One thing I will not forget though, they've been mentioning purpose. And I think I should focus more on that. First episode, second episode, third episode. Purpose. What's your purpose as a young person? I know we're talking about a life of a young person. As a Christian, it takes us back to your purpose. The lifestyle. It's in your purpose. So thank you so much. I really am honored. You don't understand. If you could see me inside, I would open it up and you would see the inside that I'm really and extremely excited. Anything you would like to say last, but don't say it to me. As usual, say it to that camera. What's your closing words for us, the young people?
Well, what I can say for young people is Jesus Christ is honestly the truth and the life. And don't ever feel like you're imperfect or you're too far gone from God, because God welcomes us. Even as we are not perfect ourselves, even though we are being representative of Christ right now, we have not lived perfect life ourselves. But because of God, God has been able to give us new life. God has been able to just help us in all our imperfections. And God is the person that meets you at your imperfections and helps you throughout the entire journey. So just truly trust God. God is the answer for each and every single thing. So yeah, that's all I can say.
Before she talks, I'm curious, what's your favorite verse?
My favorite verse. Okay, so my favorite verse is 1 Peter 5 verse 7. So it's give your worries to God for he cares for you. Because I'm a person that thinks a lot. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I'm like, God is hitting me again. She's like, this person, why are you thinking about this? No, we're supposed to think about this. But now I understand that God knew me from my womb, knew me even before I knew myself. And he knows me even more than I know myself. So yeah, that's the verse that I stick by.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna ask for the same.
Okay. So my favorite verse first, or okay.
Anything.
All right. So for me personally, my favorite verse is Psalms 46 verse 10. It's be still and know that I am God.
Amen.
Often we truly forget. We get so consumed with the ways of the world, the stresses of the world. Like we truly forget that we serve a living God. We forget that God has got us. He will fight it for us. We just need to hand it over to him. So we just need to trust in him consistently, regardless of the situation, in the good, in the bad. We just need to remain calm and know that God will get us through it. That's my comfort verse. That's my 911 verse when things are building up and the world is sitting on my chest. I just really remember that, listen, my God is alive, So none of this is forever. It's not permanent. It's temporary. This phase that I'm in is temporary because God is going to get me through it because he already walked before me. He already paved a victorious path for me, so I shouldn't now be consumed in the stress and the worries. Like Lebo, I'm also I think like when I have a problem in me, I need plan A, I need plan B, and I need another safety net to be like, okay, if plan A and plan B don't go, safety net. So yeah. And then just the last thing to say, guys, Christianity is not easy. Like we really need to be honest with ourselves. Christianity is not easy, but obedience becomes a lifestyle. Obedience is a lifestyle. Once you do what you need to do, once you stay consistent, it really, you don't feel it that, okay, you know what, I'm giving up this, I'm doing this. Like you don't even give it up from a point of like pain or like, I have to. Give it from a point of joy, because you know that what God takes, what He's gonna give is way greater than what you are sacrificing. So yeah, thank you so much for having us.
You fire. This is an intro to Women's Month, guys. The young ladies, women, you better watch out. The young ladies are coming. Usually we say, this generation, the youth of just this generation. You have encountered the youth of this generation. They're the real youth of this generation. Christian leadership, power. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lebo.
Thank you so much.
And Zamo.
Thank you so much.
I'm saying the names correctly.
Yes.
I'm always gonna say it even on the video. I love it when I say people's names correctly. Thank you so much for honoring me. I'm saying honoring me because this is an honor. Thank you so much for honoring me with this conversation. I know there's a lot that we can say. I'm really, from the bottom of my heart, I'm honored to have you. So thank you once again. And thank you to you, Babogedi, my great listeners. Please continue to watch, continue to share, continue to comment, continue to like and subscribe even more and more and more. And if you are interested on sitting here and having a conversation with me, yes, comment and say so. Raise your hand and voila, we will have such beautiful and colorful conversations. And lastly, to my precious studio people of Xano 7, thank you for making this recording what it is. From me, the host, Kakanyo Pilani, it's a goodbye.